Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's recipe, we are going to be enjoying the best of both worlds with this pineapple upside down layered cheesecake. Inside you can expect to find cheesecake and pineapple upside down cake. To begin this recipe, we are going to go with the caramel, and we are going to add a 1/4 cup of butter. We're going to allow this to slowly melt because we don't want the butter to burn. While it's still melting, we're going to add brown sugar, and you can find the recipe for this in the description box. We are not going to look for a very dark caramel. We are looking for a very light caramel so that it pairs well with the cheesecake. Now I'm adding 1/4 cup of corn syrup. This is going to make everything flow just right. We are going to allow this on the heat for about 3 minutes, and we're going to remove it just for it to thicken up. So we are going to pour in half in one pan and half in the other one, because we are making 2 upside down cakes, one with cherry and one without cherry. Let's go in with our pineapple slices. And I'm not going to add too many pineapple slices. I'm only going to add about 5. Our caramel and pineapple base is finished, and we have 2 different types. We have one with the cherries and one without cherries. The one with the cherries, the presentation has to be on point, and the one without the cherries, it doesn't matter. You could just lay any amount of pineapples you want, a lot or a little bit, on the caramel, but just make sure that it has caramel and it has pineapples. In our mixer bowl, we have 2 eggs, and I'm adding some sugar to this. And we are relying on air in this cake as our leavening agent, so we are going to be using our whisk attachment. We want to beat this until it increases in volume and becomes a pale yellow. At this point, you want to drizzle in the oil while the mixer is going very slow, and turn it back up to high speed. Now we are going to lightly dust our flour, 2 tablespoons at a time. You want to use a whisk because a whisk will keep the air. Now I'm going to add more flour to this. At this point, you want to add vanilla. Gently turn it, keeping all that beautiful air in there. You don't have to use baking powder in a cake if you don't want to. Now I'm going to add some pineapple juice. add the rest of flour. Just fold this in before you go on to using the spatula. And this is done. So my cakes are done. I'm gonna bake these at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes. Our 2 pineapple cakes are done, so this is going to be the top of our cheesecake, and we're going to add this one to the center layer. Now that the cakes are in the oven, we are going to start off by making the cheesecake base. So I'm going in with some graham cracker crust, and I'll have all the ingredients list and the amounts below. And I'm going in with some melted butter. Like it's sand, wet sand. That way it's going to compress inside our baking pan. Let's pour this into our cheesecake pan. You don't have to use a cheesecake pan if you don't have one. You could use a regular pan, but just line it so that you'll be able to flip your cheesecake. You don't have to use a glass if you don't want to. Once you have a glove hand, a glove hand works fine. Now we're gonna pop this in the oven for about 10 minutes to blind bake. Now let's make our cheesecake filling. So I'm using my mixer, and you can also use a hand mixer. Let's add some sugar. And let's mix this with our whisk attachment. You could also use a paddle attachment, but I want air to go into this cream cheese, so we're gonna use the whisk attachment. Now let's scrape down the sides and add our eggs one by one. This is softened cream cheese, so I had no need to scrape down the sides, but just in case I'm gonna scrape it down. I am adding 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and I am adding 1 egg at a time. Please take this moment to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell. Also give this video a thumbs up and help me to get my content out by sharing this video. Before we add the other egg, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Now I'll add the egg. Now this is done. Let's give it a nice scrape down, and we're going to add it to our crust. So our cheesecake base is done, and I'm going to pour half in the graham cracker base and half in another pan. You want to have nice even layers. So our 2 cheesecake are finished, and we're going to add these to a water bath and bake them until the center is a bit jiggly. Our assembly is very, very quick. We have our cake, 2 cakes. We also have our 2 cheesecakes. This is the base, and they are nice and cold and ready to go. It's gonna also help with the whipping cream to keep it stabilized. Now we are gonna be making the whipping cream as a glue for our layers. If you don't want to use whipping cream, you can also use a cream cheese icing. So I am going in with 3/4 cups of cold cream. This is whipping cream, and I am adding just about 2 tablespoons of icing sugar. When making whipping cream, all your ingredients and your equipment has to be cold. So our attachment is very cold and our mixing bowl is also cold. We're going to beat this on high speed before we add our stabilizer. And we're adding 1/8 of a teaspoon of cream of tartar as a stabilizer. And now our whipping cream is done. Now let's add some more cream to it, and we're gonna add our cheesecake layer. For this layer, I'm just gonna flip it directly on the cake, then I'm gonna remove the paper. Make sure it's nice and level. Now I'm gonna remove my pan. Beautiful. Everything nicely intact. And then we're gonna add our cake. So this is our glue for the cake and the cheesecake. It's gonna be so delicious. Add on top, a beautiful top, and then we're going to remove this. So because we don't want to trim off the sides of the cake and waste all this good cheesecake, no trimming will happen, so I'm going to fill in the sides. I have some whipping cream in a sandwich bag and I'm going to add it to fill in the gaps. Don't want to waste that nice cheesecake. Now I'm just gonna keep going around, and we are done. And now we're gonna cut it and let's see how the layers look. If you enjoyed this recipe, please give this video a huge thumbs up, drop a comment in the comment section, and don't forget to click that notification bell so that whenever I bring out new content you will be notified. Thank you for watching. See you on another good day for another great recipe.